Welcome to today's video, The Cold Truth. Are you financially ready for homeownership? In this episode, we'll step beyond excitement and focus on what truly determines readiness: cash reserves, debt management, and long-term sustainability. We'll walk through a no-nonsense, non-negotiable checklist and translate it into an actionable plan. To keep things engaging, we'll include visual diagrams, examples, and quick quizzes so you can self-assess as we go. First, let's set the agenda so you know what to expect. Here's our agenda. We start by understanding why eagerness to buy does not equal readiness. Then we'll tackle the non-negotiable checklist. Next, we'll discuss why you must eliminate high-interest debt before anything else. After that, we'll define the 3 cash pillars you need ready: down payment, closing costs, and an emergency fund. We then move into calculating real affordability using PITI plus maintenance. If you're buying with a partner, we'll cover how to plan jointly and time your purchase strategically. Finally, I'll give you a clear, step-by-step action plan and test your knowledge with brief quizzes. With that roadmap in place, let's confront the reality check. This is a reality check. In hot markets, enthusiasm and FOMO can push buyers into decisions that undermine long-term stability. But lenders, interest rates, taxes, and maintenance don't care about enthusiasm, they care about numbers. True readiness is measurable. We're going to quantify it and keep emotions in check. Now that we're aligned on the mindset, let's outline the non-negotiable checklist that determines whether you're truly ready to buy. Here is the 4-part non-negotiable checklist. 1. Eliminate high-interest consumer debt first, especially credit cards. Even with a strong credit score, carrying revolving debt is a red flag and erodes monthly cash flow. 2. Secure your 3 cash pillars: down payment, closing costs, and an emergency fund that is truly separate from home funds, plus maintenance reserves for repairs. 3. Affordability means PI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, plus ongoing maintenance. Aim for a total monthly housing cost under roughly 30% of your take-home pay, and plan 1 to 4% of the home's value annually for maintenance. 4. If you are buying with a spouse or partner, your combined debts, incomes, and savings determine your real capacity, and timing around major events like a wedding or children matters. Sometimes delaying 12 to 24 months can protect your finances and your stress levels. With the framework clear, let's zoom into the first and most urgent lever: destroying high-interest debt. Important disclaimer: this video is educational and does not constitute financial, tax, or legal advice. Everyone's situation is different, so please consult a qualified professional who can review your specific finances, credit profiles, and market conditions. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at eliminating high-interest debt. Start with the avalanche method. List all debts by APR and attack the highest interest first while maintaining minimum payments on the rest. This maximizes interest savings and accelerates cash flow recovery. Balance transfer offers can help, but be mindful of transfer fees and the promotional period end date. You can also call issuers to request interest rate reductions or hardship programs. Automate payments to avoid missed due dates, and consider literally locking cards away to avoid new balances. Only after completely eliminating high-interest debt should you consider specialized loan programs, and only if you clearly meet the criteria. Now that we've freed up cash flow, let's build the 3 cash pillars that define true readiness. This pie chart illustrates a realistic distribution of monthly housing costs. Principal and interest typically consume the largest portion. Property taxes and insurance follow. Maintenance deserves its own slice because surprises are inevitable. If applicable, HOA dues also affect your monthly outlay. Visualizing these components reinforces why affordability must include more than principal and interest. Next, let's formalize your 3 cash pillars. Your first pillar is the down payment. 20% is the benchmark to avoid private mortgage insurance, but 10% can be a stretch goal for some buyers. The second pillar is closing costs. Budget 2 to 5% of the loan amount for items such as appraisal, title, escrow, and prepaid taxes and insurance. The third pillar is an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses, truly separate from your housing funds, plus an additional reserve for home maintenance and major repairs. Consider keeping each pillar in a separate high-yield savings account to maintain clarity and discipline. With the cash pillars defined, let's quantify what you might actually need with a concrete example table. This table provides an illustrative snapshot. For a $400,000 home, a 20% down payment is $80,000, while a 10% down payment is $40,000. Closing costs at 3% of the loan, assuming a 20% down payment, come to roughly $9,600. An emergency fund equal to 6 months of living expenses might be $24,000 in this example, and a maintenance reserve at 1% of the purchase price is about $4,000 annually. Your numbers will vary, but this highlights the scale of cash required. With the lump sums clear, let's calculate what you can truly afford each month. Affordability is not just principal and interest. Your total housing cost includes principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowner's insurance. Aim to keep total housing at or below roughly 30% of your take-home pay. Then add ongoing maintenance, typically 1 to 4% of the home's value per year, set aside monthly in a separate account. Importantly, do not sacrifice all retirement contributions to make a mortgage fit. If you stop contributing to tax-advantaged accounts, you may undermine long-term wealth building for short-term equity. Having established the monthly framework, let's address planning with a partner and timing the purchase. If you are buying with a partner, underwriters evaluate your combined financial picture, incomes, debts, credit scores, and reserves. Align your savings strategy with upcoming life events, such as a wedding, childcare costs, career changes, or relocation. A strategic delay of 12 to 24 months can yield stronger reserves, a better rate, and less stress. To make timing practical, let's map a savings timeline you can follow. This timeline sequences readiness. Month 0 is your baseline audit. Months 1 to 6 focus on the debt avalanche and negotiating lower rates. Months 7 through 12 build the emergency fund to 3 months. Months 13 through 18 complete a 6-month emergency fund while saving for closing costs. Months 19 through 22 finalize the down payment target. In month 23, you obtain a pre-approval and compare lenders. In month 24, you begin making offers with a dedicated inspection buffer and maintenance reserve. Now that you see a path, let's compare 2 common down payment choices. With a 20% down payment, you avoid private mortgage insurance, reduce your monthly payment, and may secure a better interest rate due to stronger loan-to-value ratios. You also begin with a larger equity cushion, which can provide psychological and financial safety. With 10% down, you may enter the market sooner and preserve more cash for emergency reserves and repairs, which can be beneficial in high-cost areas. However, your payment will be higher, and you will likely owe PMI until you reach an acceptable equity threshold. The optimal choice depends on your cash position, risk tolerance, and local prices. Next, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Quiz time. Which funds should be completely separate from your down payment and closing costs? Option A, vacation fund. Option B, an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months with maintenance reserves. Option C, car upgrade savings. Option D, a home decor budget. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, plus maintenance reserves, should be completely separate from down payment and closing cost savings. This separation prevents a single repair or job interruption from jeopardizing your mortgage. With that clarified, let's turn your knowledge into a practical step-by-step plan. Here is your 7-step action plan. 1. Audit your finances today by listing debts by APR, your net income, and current savings. 2. Use the avalanche method to pay off the highest interest debt first. Automate payments and negotiate rate reductions. 3. Prioritize building your emergency fund to 3 months, then extend to 6 months. 4. Save closing costs separately at 2 to 5% of the expected loan amount. 5. Continue growing your down payment, targeting 20% when possible, or 10% strategically without draining reserves. 6. Model your full monthly cost using PITI plus 1 to 4% annual maintenance, and aim to keep the total under approximately 30% of take-home pay. 7. Align purchase timing with your partner and major life events, then obtain pre-approval when the numbers support it. Before we wrap up, one more quick quiz to cement the affordability concept. Second quiz. A common affordability benchmark is to keep total housing costs, including PITI and maintenance, at or below what share of take-home pay? Option A, 20%. Option B, 30%. Option C, 40%. Option D, 50%. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B, approximately 30% of take-home pay. This rule of thumb preserves room for retirement contributions, emergency savings, and other goals. Depending on your location and risk tolerance, you may prefer an even lower percentage to add more buffer. To reinforce these insights, let's highlight the key takeaways. Here are the key points. First, address high-interest debt before buying. Second, the three cash pillars, down payment, closing costs, and an emergency fund with maintenance reserves, are non-negotiable. Third, real affordability includes PITI plus ongoing maintenance. Fourth, do not suspend long-term investing completely to squeeze into a mortgage. Fifth, coordinate the purchase with your partner and your life timeline. To visualize the cost breakdown one more time, here is a quick diagrammatic reminder. This decision tree summarizes your path to readiness. You begin by eliminating high-interest debt. Next, you verify that your three cash pillars are fully funded. Then you test your monthly affordability by ensuring PITI plus maintenance remains at or below about 30% of take-home pay. If any check fails, you adjust your plan by reducing budget or extending your timeline. Only when all checks pass and your partner plans align do you proceed to pre-approval. With the framework complete, let's conclude with a quick summary. In summary, if you still have high-interest debt, pause buying and eliminate it first. Build your down payment, closing costs, and emergency fund as separate buckets. Model your full monthly cost using PITI plus maintenance, and stay near 30% of take-home pay. Coordinate with your partner and your life timeline, and do not hesitate to delay 12 to 24 months if your reserves are not ready. Patience now can save you tens of thousands and a lot of stress later. Finally, here's how you can support the channel and continue learning. Thanks for watching. If this video clarified your path to homeownership, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more straightforward finance content. Tell us in the comments what your biggest obstacle is: debt, cash reserves, or affordability, and we may build a future episode around your situation. See you next time.